Alright, I just want to preface this video by saying I unfortunately do not hook up with a blackfish on camera. I'm still getting used to the extra weight of the camera and how that affects me feeling the hit and whatnot. But that being said, I do capture a couple cool shots that I wanted to share with you guys. Alright, in this clip I'm kind of mad at myself because you can see as I pick up my jig to check my bait, there was a curious blackfish making his way over to it and I spooked him. And it looked like he was about to come and take a hit, so kind of mad at myself for that one. In this next shot, you can see it looks like 3 blackfish hanging out in like a little cave-like area. And even just looking at this opened my eyes a little bit. It looks like I was missing the honey hole by like 5 or 10 feet. So just based off this, next time I'm out there, I'm going to try dropping a little more to my right and see if I can maybe get on this area where I've seen this a couple times looking over the footage. They all seem to hang out in that little cave-like area. So here's another cool clip right here. You can see a blackfish tail just like wedging himself in this tiny little crevice. It's pretty crazy how these fish fit themselves in like these tiny little holes. Like, kind of blows me away. I'm sure spear fishermen have seen it way more than I have, but just this one little clip right here is pretty cool. Alright, in this shot right here, you can see like 4 blackfish stacked up and kind of hanging out by my jig. And I honestly kind of had a feeling that this was going to look like. You know, when you're on a hot blackfish bite, it's almost like a hit one after the other. Not almost, it is. You get hits pretty much instantaneously. So this is not too surprising here, just seeing, you know, a handful of fish hanging out and just kind of nibbling away at my jig, or the crab on my jig. But nonetheless, it was pretty cool to be able to capture this on camera. In this next clip, you see there's not really much meat left on this crab. It's just like the shell. And you see a couple blackfish just kind of hovering over it for a little bit. It's like they're deciding whether or not they want to hit it. And eventually off camera, they end up picking me. And here's a slowed down clip of a blackfish chewing on a fresh crab. I must have been asleep on the surface because I do not remember feeling this hit. But you can see most of the time the barb isn't in his mouth. And I think that's why there's a lot of missed hits when you're blackfishing. And I thought this was a funny clip right here. There's this giant pole that sticks out a couple feet from the bottom, and I managed to rest my jig perfectly on it. And I guess I didn't know because I left it on there for like 20 seconds. So I guess it just kind of shows you that blackfish tend to like this kind of structure. And I'm trying to figure out what this little guy is right here. I can't tell if it's a baby blackfish or maybe a really small species of fish called a choggy. I think it might be a choggy, to be honest. But again, it's just cool to be able to capture little critters like this on camera. Alright, and last but not least, you can see a blackfish right here ripping my crab right off the jig. What a little bastard, man. I bet these fish are so good at doing this. Sometimes they'll grab like the legs or like a little tiny corner of it, not necessarily like directly on your hook, and just shake their head and rip the crab right off. It's happened to me hundreds of times, I'm sure, but definitely cool to catch on camera.